Welcome back, esports fans. Gigs here with rounds 2 and 3 of the Able Archer Wargame tournament. And we have some pretty damn good games here. And we're going to start off with a game between Zyper and Oracle. Zyper takes an immediate map advantage here and wins a positive engagement here with his T80s, trading pretty effectively, and starts ticking at +2. And it gets to the point where Oracle just can't come back from that. It's too little, too late, unfortunately. So our next game is Enver Pasha versus Rumble. And Enver Pasha makes I would say a newbie mistake here. He gives so much map control in Golf and Bravo to Rumble, and Rumble just takes advantage of it and ticks on him the entire of the game, and he loses, even with an attempted heli rush to win the game for him, but it doesn't go very well because Rumble has adequate AA cover. Next up is Kai vs. Elephant. Elephant starts immediately abusing T80s here and just completely crushes Kai in the opening fight in Golf, and then continues to further push him in his other zones, putting him on the back defense, and there really is nothing Kai can do after losing that momentum. Elephant just starts to tick on him and acquire more points than Kai can even come back from, and it just ends up sliding in Elephant's favor because of that opener. Next up, we got Denis versus Potato. This was a 40-minute slug match where they are constantly trading around the two capture points in Delta and Echo. Unfortunately for Potatoes, Denis just ticks enough on him to the point where he has a few minutes left and he really can't do anything because Denis is up over 60 points on him. So the game just goes to Denis because Denis played intelligently and slowly ticked on him. Next up is Derp versus Volkov, and Volkov just beats the living hell out of Derp. This is probably going to make it so this video can't be shown to children because this is just cruel and inhumane. Derp just gets pushed out of every zone imaginable, and Volkov doesn't stop until he's ticked massive amounts of points that he just can't recover from. And just like the last game, this next game versus Michael Caboose and Roof Koreans just goes to show how important a safe, good opener is, because Mr. Caboose gets annihilated here in the opener. I think that's the nicest way to say it. He gets just absolutely butchered in the bottom of the penis forest, as you can see where they're fighting right now. And Roof Koreans is a more senior player, but he just cleans him right up, and he can't really recover from that because he's lost like probably 800 to 1200 points of units, and Roof Koreans really didn't lose that much, so it's game over at that point, and there's no way that he can effectively come back, and he ceded the entire map control to Roof Koreans, and that's game. Next up, we have Cranky Toaster versus Moneypreneur Gerber, also known as Red Shield, who organized this tournament. And here you just see the power of T80s. They are murdering everything, and there's pretty much nothing Red Shield can do to recover from that. He just gets his ass beat. Alright, and next up we have Warspite versus Parker Wallace, which you see probably one of the oddest glitches I've seen in a long time, where an MI-24K gets yanked up into the stratosphere by a Tomcat. All while this is going on, Parker Walrus is constantly getting pushed, and Warspite pushes deep into his two-pointer, making it effectively impossible for him to come back because he is now having his spawn threatened. And that's pretty much how the game goes. Okay, moving on to round 3 here. Here's the quarterfinals. We got Zyper versus Rumble, and Rumble wins the town fight here, but Zyper is meanwhile sneaking his entire column straight on towards Charlie, which threatens Rumble's spawn, and Rumble plays it pretty damn well though. He responds effectively with tanks and everything, but that isn't the end of this game. This game has plane spam, it has everything. Like, you have rampant CV sniping, and it is just a complete shit show of a game for 40 minutes. It's pretty awesome, and honestly this is one of the more entertaining games that I've gotten to watch. Alright, and next up in the quarterfinals we have Elephant versus Denis Black Magic. Denis does pretty well in the opening engagement here, but his 2-pointer is threatened immediately by Elephant, and Elephant doesn't ever stop. He just keeps pushing, and he's effectively in control of 2 out of 3 contested areas and pushing into Denis's 2-pointer and negating him those points. And by the time Denis gets a foothold back in the 2-pointer, Denis is already losing golf, and he's lost so many points that in 20 minutes it's impossible to come back with the map position he has, and that's basically the game. Next quarterfinal is Volkov versus Roof Koreans, and Volkov's opener goes terrible. It's the opening equivalent of a Malaysian Airlines flight. You just don't want to be on it or around it or anywhere near it. But the more impressive thing out of all this is that Volkov crawls back into this game and claws his way back towards the penis forest, and he eventually gets his complete position back and starts pushing Roof Koreans back and almost comes back in this game. Like, it was a pretty damn impressive comeback. Like, I don't know if I would spam artillery and try to CV snipe artillery, but he definitely plays well and pushes Roof Koreans almost back into alpha and starts to threaten his CV. And it's just unfortunate that he got so far behind at the beginning, because if he had only lost maybe 150 points, he probably would have come back from this and ended up winning. He really pushes Roof Koreans hard in the last 10 minutes, and Roof Koreans does everything he can to hang on, and he just gets by, and that's just one of those things of too little too late. He got pushed so hard back that he just couldn't keep up. And our last quarterfinal game is between Sprite and Cranky Toaster, and is another one of those games that's decided by the opener. Sprite engages very well with infantry and his Abrams to kill off Cranky Toaster's T-80s, side-shotting a few of them, and just he basically evaporates 200 points worth of tanks immediately, and that pushes the game in his favor, and Cranky Toaster never really recovers from that. It was a huge blow to him, and he lost a lot of map positioning from that, and that basically decided the game, that first engagement that you just witnessed. And Cranky Toaster, his morale just never recovers from it, and he surrenders shortly afterwards. And that concludes the quarterfinals.